What does it take to fight for justice on an island built on secrets? Join us as we uncover the faces behind the cast of Hawaii Five-0, then and now, and discover how they've transformed 15 years later. Alex O'Loughlin was inspired by Steve McGarrett, a man carved from discipline, loyalty, and the ghosts of war. At just 33, Alex breathes into him the quiet intensity of a Navy SEAL, whose silence speaks louder than gunfire. A graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, Steve is fluent in Mandarin, conversational in Korean and Japanese, and understands Pashto, a reminder of his time in Afghanistan. Built for leadership, trained in interrogation, tracking, combat medicine, and survival, he leads with a razor-sharp calmness. Yet beneath the armor is the son, the brother, the man who carries the ache of sacrifice. He'll do anything, everything, to protect those he loves. Steve McGarrett teaches us that duty can be brutal, but it's love that leaves the deepest scars and healing that requires the most courage. Daniel Dae Kim fills the shoes of Chin-Ho Kelly, a man forged in the fire of betrayal and unwavering loyalty. At 41, Chin's life was upended when false corruption charges nearly destroyed everything he had built. Trained by the legendary John McGarrett, he mastered hand-to-hand combat, profiling, interrogation, technology, and weaponry, becoming a formidable force. Now third in command on the Hawaii Five-0 task force, Chin's fierce dedication to his team and family is the backbone that holds them together. Kim embodies a warrior who fights not just criminals but the shadows of doubt and injustice. Through Chin-Ho Kelly, we learn that some battles aren't meant to be won, only survived, and survival can be its own kind of victory. Grace Park delivers a heartwarming performance as Kono Kalakaua, a woman shaped by the ocean waves of Honolulu and the fierce love she holds for her family. At 36, Kono's story is one of raw loss, a promising surfing future wiped out by injury, then the silent heartbreak of her mother's brain damage after an aneurysm. Fueled by grief and resolve, she graduates from the HPD Academy and steps into the male-dominated world of law enforcement as the sole female rookie on the Five-0 task force. As a cousin to Lieutenant Chin-Ho Kelly, Kono quickly earns her place as an expert sniper and a master of hand-to-hand combat, technology, and firearms. Park brings to life the complexity beneath Kono's tough, aggressive surface, a woman wrestling with guilt but anchored by loyalty and resilience. Through Kono, we see how true strength is quietly rising again when everything you loved has been swept away. Scott Caan takes center stage as Daniel Williams, a detective who knows exactly how much he's willing to lose and refuses to lose it. At 33, Scott channels a man who uproots his life to stay near his daughter, finding a new kind of purpose under unfamiliar skies. Danny is many things: second in command, expert in firearms, close-range combat, and a partner you'd trust in a firefight or courtroom. But more than that, he's human, rough-edged, hilarious, and heartbreakingly devoted. Fluent in Spanish and well-versed in emotional damage, Danny leads not with pride, but with persistence. He doesn't need to prove he's right, he just needs to be there when it counts. Through Danny, we learn that showing up isn't a task, it's a principle. And for a man like him, love and justice come from the same place, a heart that never clocks out. Jorge Garcia immerses in the character of Jerry Ortega, a man whose mind is wired to seek patterns, anomalies, and truths too wild for the average detective to chase. At 40, Garcia brings warmth, intelligence, and a subtle urgency to a character fueled by curiosity and shaped by solitude. Jerry starts as a high school friend of Chin-Ho Kelly and an offbeat consultant dismissed by many, but ends as a respected member of the force, badge in hand, validation hard-earned. His journey is not one of force, but of foresight. Garcia makes Jerry's transformation believable, inspiring, and deeply human. He proves that genius doesn't always look polished. It looks passionate, persistent, and sometimes paranoid. But above all, it's useful. Jerry Ortega is a reminder that sometimes the guy in the basement knows more than the guy in the suit. McBride was orchestrated by Captain Lou Grover, a man who leads like a father and fights like a soldier. At 52, McBride injects Grover with a rare combination of weathered resolve and raw heart. Formerly the head of SWAT, Lou walks with a badge heavy from years of knowing when not to pull the trigger. He's the type to call you out, then show up when it matters most. Originally clashing with McGarrett over tactics and trust, Grover learns that battles are not always won by force, but by knowing which lines not to cross. He speaks in sharp quips and quiet truths, often hiding a deep need for control beneath his humor. We witness in Grover a man who's constantly negotiating between principle and pressure, and through him we come face to face with what real integrity looks like when tested by fire. Taylor Wily was brought to life by Kamekona Tupuola, a towering soul who wore second chances like a badge of honor. At 42, Wily infused Kamekona with booming charm and streetwise depth. A former criminal turned trusted informant, he built an empire rooted in redemption. Once caught in the grip of crime, Kamekona channeled his hustle into enterprise, launching Wailoa Shave Ice, flipping plates at his vibrant shrimp truck, and taking tourists sky-high through his very own helicopter tour company. Each business stands as a monument to a man who refused to be defined by his past. Kamekona reminds us that legacy isn't inherited, it's earned. And his? It tastes good, flies high, and leaves a lasting impression. Dennis Chun, powerfully expressed by Sergeant Duke Lukela, carries a legacy not just on screen, but in blood. At 58, Dennis steps into the role of a trusted HPD officer with quiet authority and unwavering moral clarity. But his story begins far earlier. His father, Cam Fong, famously portrayed Chin Ho Kelly in the Hawaii Five-0 1968 TV series. That legacy pulses through every scene, as Duke becomes the living thread between past and present. Grounded in loyalty, steady in crisis, and deeply compassionate, Duke is more than a uniform. He's the human face of justice in an ever-shifting world. Chun honors his father not just by continuing the journey, but by deepening it, showing us what integrity looks like across generations. He doesn't just play the part, he embodies a living heritage that still commands respect. Meaghan Rath, clearly expressed by Tani Rey, delivers a performance that's both storm and shelter. At 30, Rath defines Tani through bold contrast, combat and care, instinct and intellect. She's introduced as a lifeguard, but even then, there's danger in her stillness. She observes, calculates, and when needed, strikes with force. With a mind trained in split-second strategy and a body conditioned for battle, Tani is a field tactician in street clothes. Rath leans into her edges, unfiltered, imperfect, and unwilling to bend to protocol when lives are on the line. There's something magnetic in Tani's defiance, the way she protects, the way she doubts, the way she still stands. Rath's portrayal isn't just strong, it's emotionally layered, powerful without losing vulnerability. She gives us a Tani who bleeds, fights, grows, and never backs down, even when the world tells her to. Beulah Koale, clearly expressed by Junior Reigns, captures what it means to carry scars you don't speak of. At 25, Koale pours soul into a man molded by combat but still reaching for peace. Junior's journey is one of silent battles against trauma, rejection, and the need to belong. He doesn't crash into the story. He earns his space, day by day, decision by decision. From washing cars to stopping a bank robbery, Junior never demands credit. He simply gives more. His Navy SEAL skills make him deadly in the field, but it's his humanity that breaks through the screen. Pain tolerance and stamina mean nothing without purpose, and Koale gives Junior that in every breath. He plays him not as a hero, but as a man who's trying to heal while still protecting others. Quietly brave, deeply loyal, Junior Reigns is a soul in uniform. Mark Dacascos occupies the role of Wofat with chilling precision. At 46, he slipped beneath the surface of one of the most elusive minds in modern crime drama, not with brute strength, but with cold intelligence. A former agent of the Chinese Ministry of Interior turned crime lord, Wofat didn't just break laws, he rewrote them. Fluent in manipulation and espionage, and armed with global connections and a mind for destruction, his war with McGarrett was more than personal. Dacascos layered him with eerie calm and twisted charisma, building a villain whose silence said more than most men's threats. Behind the scenes, he wasn't just the puppet master. He was the hand that lit the fuse. As explosive as the charges he planted, and as strategic as the chess pieces he moved, Wo-Fat was a shadow that refused to vanish until the very end. Masi Oka plays the part of Dr. Max Bergman, a quietly brilliant mind hidden beneath awkward pauses and endearing quirks. At 35, Oka immerses himself in the role of a man whose intellect is unmatched and whose social timing is always just slightly offbeat. As chief medical examiner, Max turns cold cases into stories, cadavers into clues, and science into poetry. He approaches death with precision, life with curiosity, and conversation with unfiltered honesty. A lover of pop culture and classical piano, Max is a curious fusion of intellect and innocence. He takes rhetorical questions literally, offers details no one asked for, and yet somehow wins everyone over. Oka gives Max more than brains. He gives him soul. Allergic to shrimp but immune to cynicism, Dr. Max Bergman is the kind of oddity that holds a team together without ever raising his voice. Ian Anthony Dale takes on the role of Adam Noshimuri, a man born into shadow but constantly reaching for the light. At 32, Dale delivers a performance grounded in pain, loyalty, and quiet redemption. Once the heir to a feared criminal empire, Adam turns his back on the Yakuza world and risks everything to build a new life. But the past doesn't let go easily. His father's death leaves scars he can't hide, and vengeance clouds his judgment. Still, beneath the hardened shell is a man guided by deep morality and fierce loyalty to those he loves. With fluent Japanese, sharp tactical skills, and a mastery of close combat, Adam is a man of action, but it's his restraint that defines him. Dale doesn't just play a conflicted man, he becomes one, walking the line between who he was and who he's fighting to become. This marks the end of our journey through the Hawaii Five-0 cast then and now. From their breakthrough roles to where they are today, it's amazing to see how far they've come. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more cast transformations and celebrity updates. Share your favorite Hawaii Five-0 moment in the comments below. Until next time, keep the Aloha spirit alive, stay curious, and keep exploring the stories behind the stars.